Hey guys, how's it going? Brett here, just adjust my microphone. And welcome to a very special episode. Today I'm going to be talking about my new album I'm trying to release. Um, it's something I've been wanting to do for so long. I've been trying to release a record ever since I could pick up drumsticks or ever since I could pick up a guitar and play it. So, just something I want to say. I have a couple updates, but I'm going to say them at the end of the show. And if I end up forgetting, which I probably won't, I'll just post it in another video, but I'll end up remembering. Anyways, so a little bit about my band and a little bit about my album. My band's name is Reichs and Crusades, but I do my own recording and mixing. I record all my own drums. I record all my own, record all my own guitar, bass, keyboard, everything. Um, I've been using GarageBand, and I've been using the MIDI, the inputs, the built-in instruments. I've been using the keyboards and the drums and all that. So I'm kind of moving away from that because I just bought this. I just bought my microphone. It was showing a little bit. And I bought my soundboard and all that. So I'm really moving into being able to actually record, my own drums and all that because I didn't like using the MIDI because I feel like it wasn't me, so it wasn't true to the actual song. But for now, I use the MIDI until I was able to buy a microphone, and now I do. So I'll be recording, intro music. I'll be recording my songs, the drum tracks for all that. So, I got a lot coming, so I'm really happy. I'm really excited. But anyways, let's dive right into this. The album, I don't have a name for it yet. I have a couple working titles. I might use pretty soon, maybe. I don't know. If I can't think of anything, I'll just use the best one that I thought of, and I'll go with that. So, I'm just going to play a couple songs, and then I'm going to talk about them. The first one that I'm going to talk about is The Frankenstein Monster. I got a little bit to talk about for this one. This one's pretty interesting. It's got a lot of inspiration in it, but I will let you guys have a listen. This is The Frankenstein Monster. I know that didn't say a lot about the song, but I'm going to show more parts of the song as it, comes along. But the inspiration for that song came from Rush's Limbo and Blue Oyster Cult's Nosferatu. Those are very great songs by two very great bands. The inspiration primarily came from Nosferatu. I was listening to it, and the riff was just heavy, and I just really liked it. So I was like, I want to make a song that's heavy and just dark, and about a monster. Whether it's Dracula, Nosferatu. I thought a lot of them. Like again, I was gonna probably do Dracula, Frankenstein, just a ton of them. So there was a couple different versions of this. There was one that had a lot of talking in it. Or not a lot of talking, excuse me. There was a little bit of talking. It was just me just talking very deeply. I kind of altered my voice a little bit to talk very deep. And, just to imitate being the monster. There was keyboards in it, and it was, pretty repetitive too. Because it went the main riff, that sort of break, and then there's a little more of a playing sort of I don't really know how to explain it, but it just goes on the ride bell and all that's like ding 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 ding. I can play it for you. So it was kind of repetitive, so I threw in a harmonic solo, which came from Limbo by Rush. This this song took about a couple months to record, actually, to completely finalize it. I started recording in February, and then, it was very hard to record because I had some family issues, and I had a personal matter going on, I should say, and my bass guitar wasn't really working that well. So I just, I took it as much as I could before I got irritated and just had to step away from the iPad and just step away from the guitar and just take a break because I can only record with my bass guitar so much. So, I started in like February, I ended in June, I ended in like April, I believe. So it took a while, but I was very proud of it, still very proud of it. It's probably one of, if not my favorite song I've ever recorded to date. Really love it. It's got it takes you on a lot of places. There's also like I was saying about the harmonic solo. I'll just play that for you guys right now. So you can see there's, it's very heavy on the harmonics, and it's a complete harmonic solo. There's very little bass in it. It was, like I said, it was heavily inspired by Limbo by Rush. I really wanted a harmonic solo. There's like a keyboard in there, a very, very faint keyboard. I tried to really stay away from the keyboards because I couldn't get them in the final version. So I didn't really use them this heavy in this version. So, I kind of stepped away and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to go that heavy. I just want a pure, me sound. I want the sound of me behind the instrument. Sound of me as much as I could because I had the MIDI keyboard. So I wanted the sound of me playing as much as I could with the bass and the guitars and all that. There's another harmonic solo in there, which is pretty much the same thing, but instead of at the towards the second half of it starts clacking on the snare, the side stick. It just goes on the high tom, so it's just doom, doom, doom. So not much variety, but there's a lot of passages in the song. You got the heaviness of the intro, and you got a little bit less heavy, but still pretty heavy and dark towards the verse, and then you have the break with the harmonic solo. And with the harmonic solo, I wanted a very tropical, very bright sound, and so there was some congas and some tambourines. There were some bongos that I threw in there that were programmed into GarageBand. So I just threw those in and put it in, and it sounded pretty good. It sounded pretty tropical. I didn't want to add too much because it would have sounded too much like an orgy of music almost. So I tried to go light on it, and I think it turned out pretty good. So it was one of my favorite songs because you got a compilation. You got dark, you got a little less heavy, you got light. It takes you all these places. And to me, that kind of combination creates a very, very good song when you got a combination of just, heavy and just, just a compilation of just sounds that just doesn't make it sound monotone, just brings you on a journey. I think that makes a very good song, and that's why I think, this is probably one of my favorite songs I've ever recorded to date because I put so much time in it, I put so much into it, and I think it's a very, very great song. These are all on my SoundCloud, so if you guys want to check it out, just go to www.soundcloud.com/Rikes and Crusades, or just Google Rikes and Crusades SoundCloud, and it should just come up in probably the first or second link. So the next song I want to talk about is The Mission Part 1. And the reason I called it The Mission is because it sounds like spy music. And it just sounds like spy music. So that's really why I call it The Mission. But I'm going to play a part of it for you. And I just had a fly land in my hand. I'm going to play a part of it for you and have you guys just check it out. So this is probably my shortest song, if not my shortest song, because it's only a minute and 13 seconds. The This song I feel wasn't really in key until I really listened to it back, because the drums and the or I take it back, the bass and the guitar, are primarily, it's like a C platonic almost. I think it's C platonic. So I kept it there. I just kind of jammed on that, and I repeated it throughout the entire song. You got the rhythm, the clean guitar, and then you got the bass guitar, which I recorded for literally 5 seconds, and I just looped it throughout the entire song. So that's not me playing continuously from beginning to end. I just looped it. And the same with the drums. The drums were pretty basic. I just kept it at a 4/4 beat, and I just repeated it and just kept it going. Originally, when I recorded the song, I wanted to do it more as a combination of just sounds of, different instruments. Originally, I put in some maracas and some tambourines and some bongos that were built into GarageBand. So I threw those in, and I had I used one of the electronic drums, the built-in hip-hop drums. And so I put that in, I used it. It was a lot heavier on the bass drum, so I think that gave it a really good sound, because it wasn't really much like a punchy, rock bass drum. It was very, very bassy, and added a lot more depth to the song and a lot more meat to the song, if you want to say. So, I went back and I changed it, and so I kept the guitar and the bass the same. Everything's pretty much the same, even the main guitar that you hear throughout the entire song, the one that's soloing, the distorted one. The main guitar, or the main drums, are pretty much the same, but it's just I changed it up a little bit. I didn't put in as many bass drum hits. I think I just kept it pretty simple. I just kept it boom, 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 just pretty simple. Regarding the guitar, the distorted guitar, that was very, that wasn't necessarily a challenge. It was just, I played in a key, I just played a note, and I just slid to the next note that just sounded good, that went good with it. So, I went from like A to G, and maybe like G to G, octave G. I just really experimented. So it literally took me, probably like 2 days to record. It was very fast. It was very fun to record, because I felt like I wasn't sitting in a verse where it's just verse, chorus, bridge, so on. It's just one continuous song just jamming. And that's what it basically is. It's just a jam. It wasn't necessarily meant to be a song. It was just, I was like, that's fucking fantastic. I was like, I'm turning that into a song. And so I turned it into a song, and it became The Mission Part 1. I might make a Part 2. I just called it Part 1. Just so maybe I just leave the door open for opportunity to make a Part 2, but I don't necessarily think I'll make a Part 2. I'm just going to call it Part 1 and just close the door on that. The other song that I want to mention, or I want to talk about, is a song that I wrote for my girlfriend when we were dating at the time. This song is very, very interesting to me because of the origin and, the after effects of the song. So I will let you guys have a listen. So this song I wrote for my girlfriend at the time when we were dating. The song, originally the piano that you heard in the beginning was supposed to be an acoustic guitar, but because my acoustic guitar is kind of, it's not really the best, and I didn't have a good recording microphone, I went and I played the keyboard. I played the piano, my electronic keyboard, and I put that in there and I played it. Excuse me, I played it, and I think it was very good because it was the first time I ever played a keyboard in a song like that. And I never played a keyboard like that in a song, so it was very fun to record with it because it felt great because I never done something like that before, and it was my first time, and it was a great experience to break outside of a repetitive drums and guitar and bass, so it gave it a lot more variety. Speaking of variety, another reason I really like the song is because there is a lot of variety. I put a lot of time into this. I necessarily didn't take me a while to do it because it took me about a week or two to record. I don't exactly remember, but I put a lot of time into this. I spent hours and hours, and I would wake up early because just out of habit, and when I woke up I was just like, I gotta work on the song. So I put a lot of time into it, and when I finished recording it, I thought it was so awful. I thought it was just the worst thing ever. So as time went on, I actually thought it was pretty good because, in my opinion, I think a lot of passages make a very good song, a lot of variety, because in the intro you got a very, very sweet intro. You got the piano, you got the light drums, just the simple bass and the clean guitar that almost sounds acoustic, and then you just kind of go from that very sweet into just a very beefy bridge, a pre-verse, into the actual verse. And it just makes a very good combination, I think, especially how it goes from the sweet to the beefy, and then the beefier, and it goes back to the sweet. And then you got the very, dense solo, very heavy, just E and G. And it just stays like that for a lot of it. A lot of the solo, so to speak, just very heavy. And, the combination of just the sweet and the beefy and the heavy music passages just made it a very good song. The more I look at it, it's just the more I really do love this song. It's much like the Frankenstein Monster, because this one kind of had a setup with me, but because there's so many passages and I put a lot of effort into it, it really paid off, in my opinion, because I thought it's a very good song, and it really is. It's a great song. I'm not just saying that just to save my ass because I wrote it for a girl. I'm saying this was a good song. Very, very good. So enough gloating. The last song that I want to talk about is a song that I'm putting a lot of time into because this one is going to be one of the more critical parts of the piece of string. One of the more critical parts of the album because it's going to be a longer piece versus one of the regular pieces like Frankenstein Monster or the one song I just played. The reason I'm not saying the name of the last song is because it has her name in it. I'm not sure if she would want me to say her name, so I'm just gonna respect it and not say it. If she doesn't mind, then I'll disclose it. But anyways, new song. This is Lunar Man, so I'm gonna play part of it. So here is Lunar Man. I apologize for looking around the studio during that little break of the song and just, doing that thing with my light. There's a fly in my studio. There's a bad fly problem in my complex. Not related. No one gives a fuck. This song, I originally wrote it in 2011, and it was the worst thing I ever wrote. It was awful. There was no time, no BPM, no key, no nothing. So I came back to it a couple of years later. I came back to it probably the end of June, probably beginning of this month, just about right there. And I started recording it, and I changed it up a lot. The main riff, the dun-na-na-na-na, that's the main riff from the last song, from the original, and that's all I remember. I don't remember anything about the last thing I had originally wrote from the song back in 2011. So I went back and I completely redid it. It went from being like a 4-minute song to I'm trying to make it like 7 or 8 minutes. I'm trying to make a long piece. There's kind of a story behind it, not necessarily, because there's the intro, which I can play for you guys right now. The intro is just, it sounds like you're flying through space, and I really enjoy it because it really adds a lot to the Lunar Man space, type. So here's that part. And then it goes into a very unwelcoming sort of sign of the bass. The guitar that it just played in there, I don't know if that really didn't sound that good, so I don't know if you guys heard it better or not. I'm just playing this through my soundboard, so that was more the echo part. But again, check it out on my SoundCloud, Rexing Crusades, if you want to hear the actual version. So this song, like I said, it has a story behind it, like a little bit of a story, because you got that galactic intro. It just breaks you out of that wall of reality and brings you into space and introduces you to that. So I tried to kind of keep it in that realm. You break out into space, and then you got that heavy bass. The opening bass was boom, boom. It's supposed to be like a bell, but it's just a bass. Like, it's just very, when the galactic intro just fades out, you're just in black, and you just don't know where you are, and then you have the boom, boom, and it's just very unwelcoming, like you're in a unwelcoming environment. And then you got the guitar just kind of echoing it, just kind of, just bringing it in to fade into the verse. And you got the heaviness of the verse just introducing Lunar Man, and it just, it brings you through a world and a realm of just something unsettling as you're just leaving, the planet. You're just leaving the galaxy. It's just very unsettling. There's a battle, and you're trying to escape the battle, and then you got the heavy after that, which is just disaster. Just disaster is imminent, and then you just break out of that, and you're just in a very smooth state. You're just riding on the E, very smooth, and you stay in the E platonic, and then that fades out into a G, F sharp, E chord progression, and then it fades out, and that's where the first part ends. So on the SoundCloud, I just have other little bits and pieces of, like, after that, just bits and pieces of drafts I forgot to take out when I uploaded it. So I'm probably just going to take out those parts. So if you guys end up listening to it and you just hear, like, weird guitar sounds, weird noises, that's just a draft that I was just trying to work on. But anyways, that is Lunar Man. Now, regarding my announcements, my things that I had to say, the first thing is I'm going to be starting a advice show So if you guys have any questions that you want me to answer, any kind of question, whether it's personal, I can leave you anonymous, but I'll answer them on the show. I'm here to help you guys. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. Thanks for supporting me. I want to give back to you guys. So I'm probably going to try recording that in the next week or two, trying to get that as stable as I can, have questions come in. Just when I have enough questions, I'll start doing the show, because I don't want to start and have like 1 or 2 questions. I want to have like enough questions that I can answer that, can relate to anybody, and, things like that. So once I can get enough of a stable condition, then I'll start doing the show. I'm going to be having a live cast, probably the 4th, August 4th, if I can, because I'm trying to do it on TalkShoe and YouNow. I'm going to do a simultaneous cast. The problem is, YouNow, I'll take that back, TalkShoe has been very laggy, very slow, and, I can't find any other reliable free podcasting sites. If you guys know of any podcasting sites that I can use that are, reliable and free and, I can use right away, post it down below. And if it works, I'll even give you a shout out. So, speaking of shout outs, my friend wanted me to shout out to her. So shout out to Annalise. You're awesome. You're funny. You're a really cool person. So I promised you a shout out, and there's your shout out. I'm going to be trying to do a little bit of a behind the scenes of the intro music that I'm going to be making, because I'm recording intro music right now. So as soon as I can get that stable, I'm just looking for my outro song. As soon as I can get that stable, I will show you guys how I do it, and I'll give you behind the scenes and all that. And finally, I'm going to be going on vacation probably very soon. It's planned for tomorrow or Friday. So, so hopefully in that time, I'm going to be going on vacation. But I'm going to be posting videos along the way. So I'm going to be kind of documenting my trip. So I don't just have this long silence of videos. I'm just going to be posting videos, just random little updates, or maybe I'll even do a whole video show on the go. I'll see. I'll figure something out. So anyways, guys, thank you very much. I hope you're as excited as I am about the new album that's coming out. Again, check me out on SoundCloud, Rikes and Crusades. Give me a like, give me a listen. If you don't, that's cool. I don't really care. But anyways, guys, I'm going to leave you with the sounds of Rush's Limelight to fade out today. I really appreciate you guys listening and joining me today, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you very much.
One must put up their realistic, oneself in time.